You know where? Norway. You know where they get their oil? The North Sea. The UK has a much better portion of the North Sea. They don't want to do it for environmental purposes, okay? And I told him, he's a very nice man. I mean, sort of a friend of mine. I mean, he was not good to us with NATO, Pete, right? He said, we can't use the island to land. That was the first. For a couple of weeks, he said, well, but ultimately I gave it, that was a bad move. That hurt him badly. But I mean, I wish him well, but he's got two problems, energy and immigration. True. And crime, but energy and immigration.
The energy price in the UK is ridiculous. The immigration problem, the legal immigration problem that they got is complete ridiculous. They don't do really any real vetting, and they let in all these unvetted people who actually end up hurting people. Or UK girls apparently. It's like, I'm pretty sure you guys heard the stories of the grape gangs and all that crazy stuff. The Pakistani Muslims going out there, pretty much grooming young white girls to be raped. And what was it? I think like a 250-page report came out, pretty much with all testimonies. Of course, the girls' testimonies, the guys who did it testimonies, and it got pretty damn gruesome. And then after that, all of a sudden, Keir Starmer resigns. But guess who's replacing this guy? A pedo protector. So not really much of an improvement. But all right, let's get back to it.
And he's really hurt himself very, very badly. Please go.
Mr. President, can you tell us about your meeting with the defense contractors on Wednesday and what you plan to tell them?
The meeting coming up, because I've met with them before. We're building plants all over the country. They are not allowed to take any more stock buybacks. Do you do stock buybacks by any chance? Not too much, right? Because he wants to invest in product. It's just an artificial way of raising a price if you're running a bad company. So they spent $51 billion on on stock buybacks instead of spending them on plants. Now they're spending, they can't do that anymore. Now they're spending a lot of money. We're building many plants throughout the country. They're dealing with General Motors. They're dealing with Ford. But I know General Motors is all excited about building weapons now. They have some plants which are going to switch over. We're going to build weapons, including the Patriot, including the Tomahawk.
So now we understand that, guys, our munitions is low. So now we need to start turning car companies into weapon companies. And I wonder how that's going to work out for General Motors. But hey, apparently General Motors stepping into the weapons making business. And why? Because we actually do need to boost our manufacturing weapons. And instead of producing, I don't know, maybe 100 Patriot missiles a year, let's try to get to 300 at least. Because Iran out here doing 300 a month. I mean, we at least need to do 300 a year, at least. And it really should be way more than that.
Lots of other things. And we're really in a big, strong economic push to do the weapons. And some of the car companies, if they have any excess capacity, they're making a deal to build missiles and the Patriot in particular. We have quite a few of them, but we want to make sure we have always a lot of them.
Mr. President of Colombia, the candidate that you endorse.
Thank you, Mr. President. Congratulations on the quantum physics EO to all of you.
Thank you.
Vice President Vance said that there are mechanisms in place to make sure that there's not escalations with the Strait of Hormuz and with Israel and Lebanon. Can you talk about what those mechanisms are? And are you in direct talks with the Syrian leader?
Yeah, look, here's the thing. As long as they respect us, I don't want to use the word fear because that's an inappropriate word, but as long as they respect us, we're not going to have any trouble. We have total control of the Strait.
So the mechanism
we have a
So guys, pretty much Trump is back playing hardball. And here's the problem with him playing hardball. Bro, you can't come out to the world and say, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Our strategic reserves are 4 weeks away from being tapped. It didn't go like, oh, yeah, but guess what? We're also about to play hardball with Iran, who could continuously close the strait. And, well, we only got 4 weeks. So, I mean, how long could Trump play hardball for? And also the problem with the message is that it's like, yo, he literally told the negotiators, he's like, dog, if you guys don't accept what we're telling you, you might not even make it back home. It's like, bro, you might not even have a country no more. I was like, Jesus. And of course, Iran is keeping the strait open because you want to know why, guys? Not because of Trump's threat, it's because we eased the sanctions off them. Yeah, I know, look it up. We eased the sanctions off them. So it wasn't because Trump started playing tough, it's because Iran started making money.
Navy that had a blockade. I think the blockade was more impactful than dropping bombs, if you want to know the truth. It was like I said, they call it the steel wall. Nobody got through. Not one ship got through, able to go to Iran. They got through if we wanted them to go through. And we could set that up again in about 15 minutes. I would say, Pete, one phone call, how long would it take? Maybe half hour?
They're ready to go right now if you need to.
It'll be before we finish the meeting. No, we have, as long as they respect us, we're going to be fine. If they don't respect us, things wouldn't be good, but they have a lot of respect. Don't forget, we had presidents that should have done this for 47 years. Nobody did it. Obama gave them a road to a nuclear weapon. I gave them a wall against a nuclear. They can never, under this agreement, they'll never even think about building a nuclear weapon.
Mr. President,
They were never thinking about it in the first place. And under Obama's deal, how could they? They had inspectors on the ground making sure they was at 3.67%. So really, you just got out of the deal just to get us into a conflict with Iran, just to jump back into basically the same deal, except we're giving Iran way more than Obama did. That's the worst part.
on Colombia, the candidate.
Oh, El Tigre.
Oh, we know that you had a phone.
I endorsed him. He was in 10th place. I endorsed him and he won the election.
Yeah, and we know that you had
no different than this country.
You had a phone conversation with Abelardo.
I did. I had a great call.
What can you tell us about that phone conversation and what do you see, what do you anticipate?
You're from Colombia?
Yes, sir. I'm from Colombia.
So he called.
A great city.
He called me last night and he thanked me for the endorsement. He won. He won the election. He wasn't anticipated to win, but he won and he won handily. It's just an honor. He was just a good man. I'd watch him a little bit speak, and he always speak. You know, when people like me, I like them. It's very simple. It's a very simple formula, and I like them. He said really nice things about me and the job we've done in the United States, and very, very powerful. And he won an election in Colombia that, I don't know, some people were surprised because he was a little bit further down the pack, but he won easily last night. He won he called me at 8:30 in the evening just to thank me very much. And I said, you ran a great campaign. He's El Tigre, right?
Yeah. And what do you anticipate for the relation with Colombia?
Good, much better. It'll be better. He's going to be a great president.
Mr. President.
Sir. Are the contractors who did the initial work with the reflecting pool, are they to blame for the current condition, or is it
No,
the
we had vandalism. No, vandals. You know, we have I think 290, 300 foot
So pretty
slit.
much what?
Right.
So because the reflective pool, I'm about to call it the algae pool, but because the reflective pool got algae in and it's turning green instead of, reflecting our great monuments, Trump is pretty pissed. He's saying, oh, there must be vandalism going on. He's probably going to blame it on some left-wing lunatic. And that might not be too far from the truth, to be quite honest with you guys. But yeah, the way that reflective pool worked out, not his best work. Not his best work. Tough.
Through it, probably a box cutter or a knife of some kind. Or we had people lifting up the basic, it's not a lot of damage, but we'll probably have to let the water out and refix it. They went in there with a knife. I was just told by the people over at Parks, they have 5 people are arrested and 5 people are under investigation right now. And it's a sad thing. In addition to that, we put brand new, beautiful grass all around. They put these massive letters on the grass. You probably know about that, right? And they said 8647. They probably got that from the dirty cop, Comey. You know he's a dirty cop, don't you? Dirty cop. He's a crooked guy. They destroyed the grass. So that's a big thing. But we're going to get it back very soon.
National Guard and police have been all over the mall. How would these vandals have gotten so close to do something like that?
Do you have any proof of
I mean, we didn't have a lot of them then. Who would think that somebody would go into a pool and take a knife and start cutting it?
Do you have proof of that?
Yeah, we have
Your
proof.
photos?
Really?
Well, let's put it this way. When you have a 350, I think it's 350, not 250, a 350-foot slit from one end to the other, you think that's proof? You think that's
The
proof?
reporters have been down there today looking for that slit that you mentioned, and
Well,
there's no evidence.
all you'd have to do is see the Parks Department. They'll show it to you. Or see the secretary. But I saw it. They cut it. They cut it very violently. The same thing with the floor. They cut it. And then they lifted it. They pulled it. And that's what it is. And, we've done over 50 monuments. Number one, we start with, this is now a safe city. It's as safe a city as you're going to get in the country. And when I came here, it was a very dangerous city. And number two, what we did is the beautification with the parks and the grass and everything, removal of all the tents. And this is like a different place. One of the things we did is over 50 fountains and statues, most of which were in horrible shape. All of them were bad, but some were just absolutely horrible. Graffiti, you couldn't even see the stone. They've all been fixed. We also fixed the reflecting pool. In fact, if you go over there right now, it looks very good. It's up. Somebody said fertilizer in the water. If you put fertilizer in the water, you get algae. But somebody said they might have put fertilizer. They did something to create the algae, but that doesn't matter because that's been purified. It's dead. Laying at the bottom, they're taking it out. They vacuum it out. They vacuum it very carefully out, and it'll be back to health pretty soon. We're going to have to let the water out to fix there's two little areas, very little areas where they were cut.
All right.
And we'll fix that, but it's not leaking or anything. It's got a base underneath.
Part of what's curious about this situation is we stood here with you in April when you first.
Oh, God, make sure to double tap that screen, like the video, guys. Let's get more people in on the conversation by double tapping that screen and smashing the like button if you're watching on the horizontal live, of course. Appreciate the support, guys. If you have any question, comment, jokes, or disagreements, I'll be happy to read it out loud and engage with it. You can just send a super chat, Venmo, or PayPal, guys. All right, let's get right back to it.
Revealed the plans.
I said what?
In April, you showed us pictures of what you were going to do at the pool, and you said you had a guy who was going to do it in a week for about $1 million.
Well,
It's been 2 months for $16.5 million.
Yeah, okay, ready? Barack Hussein Obama, have you ever heard of him?
Yeah.
He spent 2 years and over $100 million on trying to fix it. You know what happened to it? Never even opened.
Right.
He took the water from the river. You know about that, right? It turned out to be putrid, and it destroyed the whole thing. Spent over $100 million. Him and Biden together spent $147 million. You know what happened? Never opened. You don't mention that, right?
But
we spent about 10. Much of the money we spent are park workers. They're there whether they do this or not, as you know. They work in the park, and they're very good workers. They did a great job. So they were going to spend $300 to $400 million. You know that, and it was going to take 4 years. I spent about 6-7 weeks, and I spent probably in terms of outside, probably $10 million, around 10 million. They say 16, but a lot of that is workers that work for the same thing. So they were going to spend 400 million. I spent 10. They were going to spend 4 years. I spent 2 months, maybe less. And I have a better product. Now, I can't help it if somebody goes in with a knife and starts hacking it up. And we also have pictures of it. You know, we have
Can you
pictures.
release the photos? We've been
Yeah, at the
asking
right
for that.
time, you'll see it. You'll see it in court. You'll see it in court. But all you have to do is call the Parks Department. Call the Department of Interior, and I don't know if their lawyers will allow you to speak to them because, you know, you write fake news. But call the Interior Department. And I understand they've arrested 5 people, and they have another 5 people that are under investigation. Here's the bottom line. We made so much progress in this city. People don't even recognize it. By the way, Memphis, Tennessee, crime is down 78% in a matter of months. It was a hellhole. New Orleans, crime is down 79%.
Facts.
And they had Mardi Gras. It was the safest Mardi Gras they've had in 50 years. The governor called me.
You know, as much as people do want to trip about Trump bringing in the National Guard, it did help with crime, and these guys are cleaning up the streets. So it is really hard to complain about a good result.
Governor Landry called me. Safest Mardi Gras they've had and by the way, Chicago, which is a shooting field right now, if the governor would call me, Governor Pritzker would call me, I would solve the Chicago problem in 3-4 months. You'd have virtually a crime-free city. We'll remove all of the.
I'm not gonna lie though, we do need a National Guard in Chicago. Like the gang violence is out of control. These gang members got weapons that the military should only have at this point, man. So like you gotta understand, like Chicago is a whole different breed to where if you actually know, you would understand why I'm saying that. Yeah, you need to bring in the National Guard there. It's gotten too out of control. Broad day assassinations and shootings is like, come on now. Like there got to be some type of order brought to it. And Brandon Johnson is not going to do it. If anything, he's just going to bring in more undocumented immigrants that will destabilize the area.
Bad ones, you have criminals, you have career criminals that came in through the border because of Sleepy Joe Biden. You ever hear of Sleepy Joe Biden? Do you ever hear of him? He let people come into this country, and we can never forget that that happened. Guys like you should never forget that that happened. They were murderers, drug dealers, mental patients. They took them out of prisons. They took them out of mental institutions.
And here's the thing, guys. Like, you can't really fault Trump when it comes to immigration. The only part of immigration where I'm going to ding Trump on is like H-1B visas, because he didn't bring down the cap. In the cap, and what was it? The cap is like 85,000, and we hit the cap. We put in 85,000 H-1B visas. Those are 85,000 students, foreign students, who will be taking the place of American students, who will also be taking American jobs as well. And remember, we brought Trump in, like I said, for more than just the border, for more than just, round up all the criminals. We needed across the board handling on immigration, because it is getting out of control and is being used to undermine American citizens.
You should never forget that that happened.
Mr. President, regarding,
Mr. President, you're
Let's
meeting-
leave on a nicer note.
You're meeting with NATO's Mark Rutte on Wednesday.
Good.
You've had Secretary Hegseth review U.S. presence
I
in
did.
NATO countries.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that conversation. Are you?
Well,
planning on
look,
going down to
NATO.
those groups?
It's NATO, basically, the question. So we have been a great member of NATO, in many ways, certainly the predominant member. We paid trillions of dollars over the years, not billions, trillions over the years to protect Europe. When we wanted to know, we didn't need any help at all. I was more curious than anything else. So I said to Pete, let's see if they'd actually come. So we asked them to come, and they weren't there for us. So it's stupid that they weren't. By the way, Starmer wasn't there. And you know what? The people
like I said, I don't blame NATO for not pulling up. Like I said, one, we didn't even let NATO that we were going to pop off this conflict or war with Iran. We didn't even let them know. And the thing is, it's affecting them the most. We created the problem. And here's the thing. They never even wanted this problem, but we're going to drag them into it. And here's the thing. NATO wasn't built on, we can drag each other into whatever conflict we want. It was somebody low-key got to hit us for them to jump in. And yes, you do have to wait for something to happen for the NATO alliance to kick in. You just don't try to drag your allies into a conflict that you started.
The UK did not like it that he wasn't there. Starmer said no. Starmer said worse than no. He said, we'll be there as soon as you win. I said, we don't need you as soon as we win. Before I went in, we called him. He said, oh, wow, we'll be there. This was not Winston Churchill we're dealing with, that I can tell you. But Starmer said, we'll be there, right, Pete? As soon as we win. As soon as we win, they're going to come and help us. Okay, thanks. But you know what? Italy was very bad.
You did start.
Italy was very bad. And
no, that's absolutely fair. I'm be real with you. I got to feel NATO on that one. I mean, that's absolutely fair. I don't like NATO because they don't pay their bills. But let's be honest, that's absolutely fair to sit there and be like, bro, you started it. You wanted this. You didn't tell nobody about it. So you got it. And if you need help with cleanup after, we got you. But we're not going to participate in this with you. And that's completely fair. Because, I mean, guys, what have we achieved? I mean, Trump over here lying, talk about we control the strait. When all Iran got to do is just start throwing missiles and drones at the vessels, and they're going to stop going through that strait. So we don't really control anything, sadly. But I'm going to tell you this right now, though. Good thing that, he's kind of a saving face. Because while he's telling you that we control the strait, and the truth is Iran actually does, the reason why Iran is leaving the strait open is because we ease sanctions on them. Yes, you can look this up. We ease sanctions on Iran. So they're like, all right, we'll keep the strait open, even though Trump has some pretty disrespectful remarks. Which him saying, I ain't gonna lie, him saying that, you won't even have a country. I'd be broke. Play with me. You won't even make it back to your country. Like, I love the bravado, but the problem is, though, can you carry that out? And here's the thing. You already threatened this how many times, Trump, and nothing happened. Actually, we're in a memorandum of understanding with Iran that kind of makes it look like they won.
the countries, Germany was very bad. So we spent all of this money, probably 600, I think we spent 600.
So guys, double tap that screen, like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by double tapping that screen and smashing that like button. And any question, comments, jokes, or disagreements, I'll be happy to engage you with it. Just $2 up in the super chat, Venmo, or PayPal, guys. But all right, let's get right back to it.
Billion a year, right? Well, I would say that. I think the real number, think of that. The numbers that we spend are so crazy, or NATO, and they weren't there for us.
You started.
So I say to Pete and I say to everybody else, if we're spending all of this money, just hundreds of millions of dollars to protect them from Russia, mostly. Okay, so we're spending hundreds of millions of dollars.
And I'd have to pause them right there. Like, yeah, you're right. We are. But here's a problem, though. We wouldn't really help them if they was going to go right into Russia. If Europe really did, if all of NATO countries outside of us started attacking Russia, I'm going to be real with you. We're going to stand back and be like, yo, we're not going to let you drag us into a war with a nuclear power. So NATO has every right to sit there and be like, yeah, we're not going to let you drag us into a war with a country that controls a waterway. Like, I'm sorry, we're not doing it. And it has the best strategic position in the area. Like, they're not doing it. And trust me, the way this war worked out, they were right not to step in.
A year. You know, the case could be made that we spent all of the money over the years before me. I cut it back. But listen, we spent all of this money, and then when we want to maybe have help on small stuff, this is small time. This is not the big one. This is small potatoes. They say no, would rather not help. Stupid thing to say, because we can say that to them if we want, and we might.
Mr. President, regarding the other.
Oh, I mean, fair is fair. We should have been out of NATO in the first place and make these people, pay for their own defense. Should have been, did it? They got a little bit too spoiled. But sadly, like I said, we just can't drag these guys into a conflict. That's not how the NATO alliance works.
It's the 1 year anniversary of Operation Midnight Hammer. If you could go back in time, is there anything you would do different?
No.
Nothing
It
at
was the
all?
most successful attack that anyone's ever seen with a bomber that totally wiped out their nuclear potential. If we didn't do that, you'd have no Israel right now. Israel would not exist, and most of the Middle East would not exist. They were 2 weeks away from having a nuclear weapon. If we wouldn't have done that, Pete, they would have had a nuclear weapon. You want to say something about that?
Yes, sir.
And that's how you know it's complete propaganda. Oh, they were going to be 2 weeks away. Trump, we've been hearing that for like 2 decades. 2 decades straight, Iran's been 2 weeks away from a weapon. And the problem is Iranians don't have no nuclear weapons program. We have no proof that they're going towards a nuke. We don't even have proof that they are enriching their uranium past the 60% that they're already at. None of that. So, of course, him saying that, oh, well, if we didn't do Midnight Hammer, they'd have been 2 weeks away. I'm sorry, that's not true. Let's just be real here. If we didn't do Midnight Hammer, Israel would have just got decimated. That's just pretty much what it is, because their Iron Dome system was getting, passed through with